now. Query parameter. What is query parameter? So using query parameter, we can enable the end users, the report users, to reuse the report developed by the desktop users. And also we can enable the end users to view only the data which they intend to see it. For example, you are the sales manager working in the South region. You are supposed to view only the South region sales performance. Similarly, the North region manager is supposed to view only the North region data. Using query parameter, we can restrict the users to view only the data which they are supposed to view it. Okay, and also query parameters are helpful in terms of ease your release management process. Okay, now the question is, okay, and this is a question from Sudha. She's asking this question like, so what is the advantage of restricting the users to view only their respective? It's security, from the security point of view, right? And other thing is, they don't want to see the data which are not relevant to them. Supposing if you, in your report, if you display all these 7 regions or 6 regions data, you will get confused. He doesn't care about other region. He wanted to view only his region sales performance. And apart from this, maybe this is a subjective expectation, let it be there. But the advantage here is, another advantage here is, you are not going to fetch the entire data from your table. Okay, so we are discussing about the query parameter. So the use case of query parameter, I discussed so far. What are they? So using query parameter, we can enable the users to view only the data which they want to save. And also the report can be reused, okay, by the users. Okay, you can reuse the same report. Okay, and what do you mean by reuse the same report developer? There, the report developers. For example, you have developed a report wherein they can view any specific region data. With query parameter, we can restrict the users to view only the respective regions, but still for North region and South region, for each region, you are not creating a different reports. You have created only one report. In that report, what you are doing is you are showing only the North region data to the North region managers or VP sales and all. Okay, in that way, you are restricting the users to view only the respective data, and at the same time, you are reusing the same report. You are not creating multiple reports for different regions or different managers. And apart from this, from the performance point of view, it is really fast. If the users select only their specific region related data, if they view only the specific region data, they are selecting only the subset of your table's data. Supposing in your table, you have, let's say, 100 million records are there. 100 million records are there. For example, in the South region, recently they started their business operations. Here, 6 months back only, maybe like 0.6 million records only is there. 6 lakh records. But here 100 million records. You know what is 1 million? 1 million is your 10 lakhs, right? Only 0.6 million records. In that case, to view your South region sales performance, why you need to query the 100 million records? Instead, you take only the 0.6 million records, 6 lakh records only out of this. If you work on this, the performance will be pretty faster. Okay, from the performance point of view, also it is really good. They are taking only the subset of they are working with only the subset of the data. But there are cases, yes, they say the VP sales is the one responsible for North region, and we have something else called Northeast region. Okay, so in that case, you need access to more than one region, but still we are defining a boundary for each user. Okay, so the VP sales should be allowed to be in the North and Northeast region. let him go and view it. And the sales, right? The sales manager in the south, they should be able to view only the south region sales. Okay, south region sales or southeast region. One manager wants to see southeast, other manager wants to see southwest region, southeast, southwest. Okay, southeast data is maybe lesser, and south west also lesser. In that case, you don't have to work with the huge volume of the data. The performance will be faster. And at the same time, you are reusing the report by enabling the query parameter. When they open the report, let's say you share the report with the end users, report users. When they open the report, it will prompt them to enter the region. Only when they enter the value, the report will get opened. And then it will show the data that are related to that specific region which he keyed in. Okay. And also it will simplify the process of release management. See, in the case of any software development project, you have something called development environment, dev environment. And then you have something called QA, the testing environment. Okay, this is where they test your code environment, and then user acceptance testing, and then production. Finally, only your report will get published on production server. First, you will start with here, and once you develop your report, and once you create any script or any stored procedure or something like that, you will test it here. If everything goes well, then you notify to the QA team. They are the one testing team. What they do is they will migrate your code from the development folder to the QA folder. Okay, they will migrate it. Once they move your code from your development folder to QA folder, as a developer, you will not have access to this one. What they do is the QA team, they will test your report from the functionality point of view. Okay, whether all the calculations are done correctly, whether the KPIs are showing correct value for different scenarios. Okay, they will test it everything. They will come up with some test case scenarios. There is something called test case. They are the one responsible for writing the test case. As a developer, also you need to write the test case, but they'll come up with some test case scenarios. So they'll run those test case scenarios with your report, and the data also different. Maybe the data file name is same, but for the testing purpose, they use different data. And if they find any bug in your report with their test data or test cases, they will raise it in a bug tracker. There is something called bug tracker in the intranet, right? They will raise it. So author name, what is the author name? Author name is, for example, Priyanka and Lavanya. Okay, and Kamal, right? So author name and date, and then the defect description, something like what is the defect, and then severity level. So it's a 1, 2, or 1. So 1 is you need to fix it immediately. Okay. 2, maybe you can take 8 hours time to fix it. If it is 3, maybe it's a cosmetic error. Okay, fine. So they will log it, and then there is a status here. And then you need to open this defect tracker. Once they get back to you, hey, we have conducted the test and we have logged in the defect in the defect tracker. So as an author is nothing but the developer, report developer. You need to go and check against your name how many defects are there. It is your responsibility to open that report and fix those bugs. And if you disagree with that, hey, this is not a bug. This is the data what you have used was not correct. So you can go and you have some status here. Okay, you can say it's not a bug. I can remark column, you can specify this is not a bug and this the data issue, something like that. Then they will understand. If they are agreeing with it, then they will close it. If they don't agree with your statement, right, again they will come back and they'll explain you. There will be a call, separate meeting. There they will explain you, and then you need to fix it. So your code will be migrated. The report file and other scripts will get migrated here. But in the QA environment, they use a different data set. But same report file, whatever they are going to use it, but the data set will be there, different. In the test case, they come up with it and they'll test it. If there are any error, you need to fix it. Let's say, you fixed all the bugs, and then this code will be migrated to UAT, user acceptance environment. This is a folder. All the users, end users, the COY, VP sales, they go and test their report, whatever they needed, or whatever you developed and you fixed it, right? They will go and check it. And if they find any issues with respect to functionality or any additional features that they need, they'll get back to you. Again, you need to work on it as a, you need to move that report back to your dev environment. You need to fix it, and or you need to include the additional features requested by them. And then again, it has to go to QA, and then it is an iterative process. Okay. And then QA will test, and then if there are no bugs, they will inform the UAT team again, they'll test it, everything is fine, and then only it will get moved to your production. Here the challenge is your report file will get moved here. For example, R1 is your report file. You tested everything is fine from your side, and then the QA team, they migrated to their environment, the same file. They want to use the same report file, but they use different data set. For that data set, they need to specify the path in which folder the data set is there in your report. In that case, they need to know how to open your report and where to specify the path for their data file. Right? So in that case, what we are doing is with the parameter, query parameter, they don't have to open your code. They don't have to be familiar with Power BI desktop. Simply when the QA testing team, when they open the report, it will prompt them, hey, can you please enter your data file name and the corresponding path? That's it. They'll have to enter the folder name, the path, the file name. That's it. And then they can run their test cases against your report and then there. So with the help of the query parameter, we can enable the different environment users is to enter or key in manually the folder and file name. They don't have to be a tech savvy. They don't have to be good in Power BI reporting tool. Okay. Even a layman, when they open the report, it will ask them, hey, you need to enter the file name and the corresponding folder name. That's all. It picks up that, and then it will show the values according to the data, whatever they mentioned it, right? The file which they used it. Okay, so this is called your release management. One environment, another environment. Finally, till it goes to production, it goes from one environment to other environment. But when they migrate the code, it should be seamless in terms of testing and everything. They are not supposed to open your report. They are not supposed to make changes to your code. So even if they are good in coding, when they open your report and when they specify the path name for the data file, and then when it goes to UAT, again, the UAT team, they need to open their report. They need to specify their data file path, everything. Too much of manual thing. Okay, they make changes to your report by specifying the different folder name where their data file exists, everything fine. But while making changes, if they make some other mistakes, again, it is a painful thing. Hence, don't touch my code. Simply open my report, and we have a parameter. It will prompt you to enter the file name and the corresponding folder name. That's all. So hence, query, with the help of the query parameter, we can ease the release management process. So what is a query parameter? By changing this, you can change the data that is loaded in your Power BI model. So at the source system itself, the Power BI model itself, we are dynamically changing our query with the help of the query parameter. That we will see little later, don't worry, okay? And why query parameters? That's what we already discussed. And what are the types of query parameters? There are 3 types of query parameters. Are there any list of values and query? These 3 are pretty simple. Especially the first 2 are very, very simple. And third one is simple, but it requires some additional steps. So to create a parameter and test it right, you need to follow these 3 steps. But for query type of query parameter, additional step, 3-4 steps will be there. That's all. It's very simple one. Now I jump into the Power BI desktop and I'll show you how to create a parameter So I open the Power Query Editor. Here we can see various files are there here. 1 second, parameter, yeah, everything is there here. File path, yeah, I used many things here. Okay. We will use the sales data set. And here there is some issue. A country state of the table was not found. I'll remove certain things. I'm going to remove these steps, and there is some, it seems to be an error here. Let us not worry about that now. So these things should come here automatically. Okay, we promoted headers, very good. After this, we have the data, fine. So now what I do is I'm going to create a parameter now. I just click on this one and I'm going to minimize this. And here I'm going to delete this group. Because there are some errors are there in the sales data set, right? I just delete this group. Okay, this is nowhere related. Let us not worry about that. Okay, other queries here. And if I expand this, we can see the sales W04, everything is there. Fine. Now what I do is I'm going to create a parameter. How to create a parameter? Step 1. You need to open the Power Query Editor. In the Power Query Editor, just beneath the queries, right? You need to right click on it and new query. Sorry, new parameter. Click on new parameter. And here you can see it opened up something like this. This is where we can create the parameter. See, already I have created various parameters. Let's not worry about that. Here I'm going to say country parameter. Already it is there. Let us not worry about that. Okay, country parameter. Here, the data type is text. Country is a text. Hence, I have used a text data type. Suggested value. There are 3 types of query parameter. Like I have shown, any list of values query. And in this case, any list of values query, I'm going to use the any value. And current value in the country, I remember that United States is there. United States. I'm going to create a temporary like that. Very simple step. I created a parameter. Okay, and the next step is we have to use it. Creating the parameter is not the end of the road, right? You need to use this parameter. Where should I use it? It is up to you. You can use whatever the data file, right? You want to use the query parameter, you can use it. In this case, I'm going to select sales W04. And here I have a country column. Look here in the country column. Here what I do is I click on the drop down here. In this case, we have something called text filters. Listen very carefully. And then here, the text filters, I'm going to click on equals. The country column. In the country column, equals. And here we need to specify the filtering condition here, okay? And here, if you click on it here, all the country it will show. You can select any specific country. But what will happen is whenever, let's when you share this report with different users across the globe, a person in USA, when you open the report, it will show only Austria data. Okay, is there any way can I make it dynamic? Yes, click on the drop down here, select parameter. We have created the parameter just now. The parameter name was country parameter. I'm done with it. If I hit OK, look here, it filtered only the unit test. Because in this parameter, in the country parameter, you can click on the manage parameter to view whatever the option that you use. Country parameter, the name of the parameter, country parameter, text data type, and any value, query parameter, we have used it. Current value mentioned unit test. That is the reason why in the sales W04, the country, you can see that currently it got filtered with United States only. Now the question is, why did we use parameter in the country column? When you share the report to any user, now when they open it, it will ask them to enter the country name first. It will prompt them to enter country name. Only when they enter the country name, the report will get opened. Got it? Fine. But you might be asking this question, fine, you have created the parameter. We need to use this parameter. That is the purpose we have created the parameter. That parameter I use in the country column of my sales W04. Fine. But the default value mentioned United States, that let it be there. When for example, if I share the report to you in your laptop, if you download it and open this report, it will ask you to enter the country name first. Only when you enter the country name, it will open the report. Okay, but you need to specify default value. This is for testing purpose. Okay, I'm going to click on the file menu ribbon, and then I'm going to close and apply this. Already I've created various parameters. You might find many parameters. So here, this is what my visual. I create a visual. Anyhow, I'm going to create another page for you people to understand. I'm going to click on I just clicked on the plus icon here. I want to create a new page. Okay, fine. In this page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this visual clustered column chart. Okay. Here in the sales W04, I just dropped the country column and sales. Oh my God, sales is not. Why it? Oh, there is a problem with the data set. That's why it was throwing an error, right? All the numeric columns are displayed as text data type. I just go and check it here. One way it is good. We'll see how we can troubleshoot it. And if I scroll down here, can I see anything wrong here? Nothing wrong here. Okay, let me do one thing. I will just enable I just click on the view ribbon. In the view ribbon, we will have something like a data profile. You can see that we don't see any error here. We don't see any error, which shows error 00, fine, but sales, quantity, discount, everything is in text data. This issue is still there. Okay, my God. Yeah, because I removed everything, right? All the steps. Because of that error, I just remove the dollar here one more time and replace that by nothing. And it's a text. Okay, and then I'm going to replace that by NA by 0. Yes, Priyanka, you're correct. NA by, that's what I'm going to do it now. And I'm going to put 0. I'm going to replace NA by 0. Very good. And then I'm going to click on this. I'm going to convert the decimal number. And this one, the quantity, I just simply, I'm going to convert the whole number. Replace current. Okay, after we change the data, we did not see any error. Cool. So this is fine. I'm just still wondering why. Oh, okay. Okay, apart from this, we don't see any other issues. I'm going to close and apply. Look at the sales, I just drop it now. I just dragged and grabbed the sales column here. And then I put the country column here. So United States, the default value we mentioned United States and it shows United States, but still I need to test that parameter, right? So how do I test the parameter? You need to click on the transform data again and you need to click on the edit parameters. Look here, these were the parameters I already created it. So this is the one we recently created, right? Let it be there. We are not going to disturb that. But in your case, first time when you create a parameter, only one parameter, it will show only like this. United States. This is the default value mentioned, and this is the one saves your time. If you want to view the United States, you don't have to type it here, right? So for example, I want to see United Kingdom or Austria. So we found Austria, right? Austria. That's all. And from parameter, okay, I don't know in Australia, better we'll use Australia. And I don't know whether Caribbean is there in Australia. Okay, I just country query parameter, it is showing error. Better will remove all the parameters if this is going to throw any error. Yeah, Australia, look here, it filtered Australia correctly. Okay, what I do is I just go here. I'll remove all the other parameters. Even this one, I'm going to delete it. Since because it's being used a country query parameter, I'm going to delete this. These were the previously created parameters. Okay, parameter because it's being used in sales W04. Okay. And here sales W04, I just go here and select the source and then you click on the wheel icon. Here you will find the parameter here, right? What you do is you need to make it text here and you need to specify the d:\that1 sales underscore. You need to hard code the value here. This is the default behavior, right? I just hit okay, fine. It is not throwing in error, very good. Okay, if I go back here and right click on it, delete, now it will get deleted. So country parameter, I created it. How I created it? I click just beneath the queries in the empty space of here, right click on it, click on new parameter. The other way of creating the parameter is in the menu, you have something manage parameters. Here also you can click on the new parameter. You can create, okay? So that's how we created the this country parameter, okay? And if I want to make any changes to that, you click on the manage parameter. And then here you can change the data type, or if you want to change the type of list of values, we have something else called list of values. So with any value, what happens, we will test it one more time because we were having the mix of many parameters. Click on the transform data, edit parameters. Here you can say whatever you want. For example, this time I was look here. When I share the report to you, first it will prompt you to enter the country name. In this case, okay. If you don't enter it, it will not allow you. For example, you don't enter anything. Simply click on OK. That's all. It will throw in. You cannot get into the report. So you have to enter something here. Hit OK. So whatever the value you keyed in your United States, that value will get copied to your parameter which you assigned it, which you used it in the filtering criteria of the country column. You remember in the country column, I've used the filtering condition, right? Where country is equal to country parameter. So whatever value you type it, that one will get copied there. Fine. So now you understood the any type of parameter. So it involved 3 steps: create a parameter, apply a text filter with the parameter created. That is what we have seen. Filter rows, the country equals the country parameter. This is the one we chose, right? And then we hit the OK button. The parameter, it was showing country parameter, and then we hit OK. Since we have mentioned the parameter name, when the report gets opened, it will prompt the users to enter the value for the parameter. When they enter any country name, based on which the value in the country column will get filtered. For example, in the parameter, when you enter United States, that one will get copied here. So here you have United States, the country equals United States. It will show only the United States related data. Got it? So this step 3 is for testing purpose. You go to your transform data and click on the drop down where you will find edit parameters. And here you can, you can enter and test it. Okay. So only 3 steps here: create parameter, apply a text filter with the parameter, and step 3, test it. That's all. And next one is list of values. But here, in the case of any parameter, any value parameter, here they can enter any country. For example, you can enter United States, Australia, London. You can enter anything here. But here there is no security here. But one advantage here is at a time they can view only one country here. Hence, it need not to query all the countries data, and then it need not to display everything here. For example, you are very particular with United States. Yes. But in United States, you want to view only the specific region, you create another parameter. Okay. That parameter, you can apply a filter in the region column. Okay. And then what will happen is it will ask you, okay, United States, another parameter will come here, enter the region, like a region parameter. So you need to specify either north, south, or something like that. So in the United States north region, only they are supposed to view it. You can add, as many parameters as you want, but make sure that you're not going to create too many parameters. Too many also problem, too less also problem, or if you don't have parameters also problem. With parameter, your query performance will be good because they are going to select only a subset of the data, not the entire data. And at the same time, security is there. But anyway, any parameter, there is no security here. So they can enter whatever the value they wanted. So to overcome that, we have something else called the list of values. For example, okay, you are a VP sales, you want to view, you are in charge for 2 different countries. I'm going to use the same parameter. Click on the manage parameter. Here, instead of any value, I'm going to use a list of values. Here, I'm going to say United States. And here, I'm going to say, Australia. Let's say you are a VP sales, you are responsible for these 2 countries. Your base location is Australia, but currently you are working in United States, and hence you are asked to manage these 2 countries' sales performance as a VP sales. You entered whatever the country that you wanted to view it, and then the default value, whatever the current value, whatever you want, you can select it here. Select here. Something like that. You can select whatever value, but you need to specify value here. If you don't specify anything, it will not allow you to create the parameter. Likewise, you can specify more than one value also in the case of list of values. This is as usual, it's a country parameter, it's a text data type. Fine, I'm going to hit OK. Now I make changes to existing parameter. Do I need to still apply the filter? That you don't need to do that. Look here. If you go to the country column, you have already applied that thing. But it is not showing the filter one. Anyhow, we will apply. Look here, the Australia is there. And the text filter equals, we'll go back there. And then we'll take a look at it again. And equals the parameter, country parameter. We will reassign it again. There is nothing wrong here. You're not supposed to get any error here. Okay, no error, nothing. So I'm going to close and apply. Now, the next step is I need to test it. How do I test it? Click on the transform data, the drop down right here, and then click on the edit parameter. Transform data, edit parameters. Here, if you click on the drop down, you have two options here, United States and Australia. You don't have to key in separately. You don't need two different parameters, right? Within a single parameter, you are allowing the user to select either United States or Australia. If they select United States, it will get. So in that way, also you are restricting the people to view only the specific country data. United States and Australia only, you should be able to view it. You cannot key in the value, you cannot type the value there. Look here, United States, good. Fine. And the next one is the query parameter. Third one is the query parameter. And this is how you can dynamically, you can make your report more dynamic. And I'm going to select the same thing. Okay, not that one, this one. Okay, this time, look here, I'm going to click on the manage parameter. We will try the last one, query. In this case, you should have created a query already. So there are three types of query parameters, any value, list of values. These two we already explored. And then the last one query, we need to explore it now. But in this case, first you need to create the query. That query you need to use in the parameter, and this parameter you need to use it in a sales column. So previous case, what we did, we create the parameter first, and then we use the parameter in the sales call table. Now we need to create a query first. That query, you need to use it in the country parameter, and then you need to apply a filter to this parameter in the sales table. So for that, how do I create that? I just go to the sales W04 table, and here you have the country column. Yeah, this is a country. Look here. Here, the filter icon you can see, right? With that, you can understand quickly. We already applied the filter here. When you select the column also, you can see that country parameter, right? Here you can see this one. Okay, fine. Now what I do is, I'm not going to disturb this. I just keep the cursor somewhere here and then right click on it. So if you look at the bottom here, add as a new query, you click on a new query. Look here, all the country got selected here. Okay, I don't need the duplicates of that one. Remove duplicates. Okay, I need to remove the filter first. Sorry. I'm going to remove this one, and in the sales W04. See, since I already applied the filter, what happened? It shows only the United States. Click on the drop down, clear filter. Click on clear filter. It will show all the country now. Okay, and then we will verify it here. Click on here, but still it shows only United States. What is wrong here? What is this country? Oh my God, I duplicated it mistakenly. Okay. Let me, how it came here? I think mistakenly I created something there. Okay, sales W04. And if I go to the country column here, no, this is the one. While creating the parameter, I made some mistake here. Let me delete this. And I just go to the sales W04. The country column will go and check what values. I think I messed up somewhere here. Yeah. Something went wrong here. And then filtered rows. I just remove the filtered rows. And still it shows only this one. And let me do one thing. Source. Yeah, now everything is coming here. Oh, in the filtered rows, this is where some, yeah, look here. The previously I used another filter, clear the filter. Now it shows everything. Everything else is fine. Okay, and cool. So the sales column, yeah, it did not get disturbed. Okay, fine. And next one is, okay, cool. So I just right click on it, add as new query. Right click on it, remove duplicates. This query will have all the country name, the unique name for each country. It will not, you will not find any duplicate now. Now I just rename this as I have created the query. This query I have to use it. Where I should use it? I have created the parameter. I'm going to click on the manage parameter. And here I'm going, instead of using list of values, I'm going to use a query. And here, see, look here, this is the one I created it a while back. That is the one I'm using it here. The current value, whatever you want, you can specify it. The type of the query parameter is query itself. Okay. First, we create the query and then we use the query in the country parameter. Now, this parameter needs to be mapped, or we need to apply a filter for this parameter in the country column. You click on here and text filters equals. Click on the parameter and here the country parameter. Okay, got it. So I use the same single parameter within the parameter itself. I change the different type, everything. Okay, fine. I just click on close and apply. This time, all the countries will be displayed when you click on the drop down in the parameter. Transform data, and here if you see here, edit parameter. If you click on it here, all the countries you can see. So for example, you are a CEO of the company. You should be allowed to view any country, but you don't want to key in everything manually. While keying in manually, when you type it, you might tend to make some typo. To overcome that, you can use the query parameter. You can select whichever, you can, in this case, you have given all the countries, you listed all the countries name, so that as you see whatever the country I want, I can go and see it. Algeria. When I click on it, look here, Algeria, country is Algeria. Good, right? It got filtered. So now you understood the difference between any value also allows you to enter any country name. But if you make some typing mistake, right? Spelling mistake, it will not show. But with query parameter, you can allow the users not to type the country name instead, or they don't have to type the value. Instead, they can select the values that are available in the query. And then based on the value that they selected, the report. So in this case, the same report file that can be used to view the Algeria related sales performance, and any country you wanted, you can use it. You can reuse the same report. That is also one of the items of query parameters. So we made our report very dynamic. In the sense, if this visual to display United States, any country's sales performance, that is possible. And also we are able to restrict the users to view only their specific country's data. So these are the, this is the one of the use cases wherein we use query parameter. Okay, and what are the other use cases we will have to use query parameter? That one I will show you. The other scenarios like the release management process. For example, I'm going to click on the transform data, like dev environment and QA environment. If you move the report file from the current folder to another folder, for that, you need to specify the path name, right? You need to click on the new parameter. Here I just say file path. Here it is, for example, here in this case, you are using any, okay, and so just to say any value, sorry, not the any, here the text data type. The data type is text, and here the query type is any value. The current value I'm going to specify in the that one folder, sorry. I mistakenly hit the enter key. 1 second, that one, here I just go and say sales underscore w04.csv. Got it. I'm going to hit the OK button. Yes. And that's the default thing. Now what I do is I have created another parameter. I have to use this parameter, isn't it? Where I should use it? Click on the data file. And in this query, the first one is your source, right? When you click on the source here, you can see, what is the source for this query. The data is CSV file. It is available in this folder. So comma separate, all the details we can see. Next to the source, you can see the wheel icon. Click on the wheel icon. When you click on the wheel icon, it will open up something here. Look here. When you load a file using the get data icon, right? It'll enter the file name along with the folder automatically. Okay. And here I want to specify the parameter so that when the user open the report, it will ask them to enter the country name and then hey, specify your data file path name. Okay. So for that, I'm going to click on the drop down. I'm going to click on parameter, not the country parameter, file path parameter. Because in the file path parameter only, we have specified the default folder name, file name, right? Fine. I'm going to hit OK. Done. So now if I close and apply, and when I click on this, and yeah, 1 second. When I click on the drop down here, edit parameters, 2 parameter, it will be there. Country parameter, file parameter. And you can specify, for example, Germany. And what I will do is for the sake of demonstration, I just go here in the dat1 folder in the sales underscore W045. I'm going to take it here. This is the file. I just right click on it and then copy it. Create a new folder called QA. I think QA is already there. I'm going to replace that file with this file, replace the file in destination. CSW04.csv. What I will do is this time, I'm going to use this path. Remember that in the real-time scenario, in the QA folder, the file name is same, but the data inside the file is different. Okay. I'm going to click on OK now. Look here, this time it picked up another file which is available under the QA folder. You assume that that file, though the file name is same as your development report files path, right? File name, but the data will be different. Look here, everything is fine. It's working fine. Okay. It picked up that one. If that file was not there, for example, if I put something like that, it will throw an error. It will go and check, and then it will throw an error, apply changes, it will throw an error. The file not found. Could not find file. Look here. You need to specify the correct file. Discard changes in that case. Discard, yeah. So this is how you can use the query parameter to make or to select the file name dynamically. Okay, you enable the users to change the source file name and its path dynamically. Not only you can make your report dynamic by changing the query, right? Queries filtering criteria, but also you can change the file name dynamically with the help of the parameter. Okay, so these are the use cases wherein we use query parameter. Okay, I'm going to wrap up as of this. I thought of continuing further. It is already late for you. And what I'm going, since many of you mentioned, right, we will continue tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow also will continue the same time. See, next week I will tell you the time, right? I will mutually discuss with you all, and then I will come back the optimal time. Okay, and